The Rockefellers did something very, very intelligent that GE really started doing in the 1950s, that Warren Buffett did in the early 2000s, and it's something that any of us can do, and I'll give you a few different ways to do it. Let's start with the Rockefellers. Whenever they have an heir, they actually buy permanent life insurance on them. And that permanent life insurance is going to be around one day longer than the heir, so when that heir dies, the trust gets replenished tax-free from the insurance company. So while they're using money while they're alive, if the economy's down when they die, if they have some mistake in their business or cash crunch, and they become someone that would normally deplete the trust, that gets replenished upon their death through that tax-free death benefit. So they're buying these policies on them. Now, GE did this in the 1950s. GE said, hey, you know what? We want to become number one in all our categories. In some of these categories, we're like not even number 2 or number 3. So we either need to kill off these categories and get more specific of what we do as a company, or we have to go hire and recruit the very best talent out there. And so in the 1950s, GE went out and they sought the very best talent and said, look, if you'll come work with us for the next 7 to 10 years and make us number 1 or number 2 in this category, you're going to get a pension. Now that pension starts to become a tax on that company when that person retires, right? So what they did was they bought a life insurance policy on the executive. They used the cash value to help fund the pension when the person's in so-called retirement, and when the person dies, they would get back tax-free money at 6 to 7% from the death benefit and replenish it. So it's very similar to what the Rockefellers were doing. They're saying, hey, we're not looking at it as a death benefit as you have to die to benefit. We're looking at it as a death benefit as a way to perpetuate our wealth. And in the year 2000, 2001, and 2002, when Buffett was like, I feel like the stock market isn't providing enough opportunities, and he was staying away from technology, he spent close to $7 billion on buying insurance policies of people who already had the insurance on them, and if they were over 62 and male or 70 and female, Berkshire Hathaway now owned the policy because he knew they would eventually die, and that money would come in tax-free to Berkshire, and he would get a better return than he was getting in the market. He expected a 12 to 15% return.